Think of the most capable person in your office, the one who doesn't just meet expectations, but quietly assassinates them. When a critical project is burning to the ground, management doesn't panic. They don't call a boardroom meeting. They just call this person. They are the fixer, the reliable one, the one who never lets the ball drop. Maybe you know exactly who this is, or maybe you are looking in the mirror. Since childhood, we are fed a very simple, comforting equation. Hard work equals proportionate reward. Dig a better hole, get a better title. It is the fundamental promise of the corporate meritocracy. But I want you to look closely at the so-called Rockstar employee. Look past the bonus checks, past the generic praise in the monthly newsletter. Look at their eyes. You won't see ambition anymore. You will see survival mode. There is a hidden mechanism in corporate architecture, a glitch in the matrix of success that no one warns you about during onboarding. What management calls indispensable, psychology calls a captive. Welcome to the high performer's curse, the dark psychological phenomenon where the reward for digging the best hole is simply being handed a bigger shovel. Today, in episode 2 of SUBTEXT, we are going to decode the architecture of performance punishment. We will pull back the curtain on why being the best is actually the fastest way to paralyze your career, and exactly how the system weaponizes your own work ethic to build your cage. If you are tired of carrying the weight of the incompetent, pay very close attention, because the trap only works as long as it remains invisible. To understand why competence is punished, we have to stop looking at your company as a family and start looking at it as a piece of engineering. Let's look at the geometry of a business. Imagine a beautiful, towering skyscraper. At the very top is the penthouse, the executives, the visionaries, the people who get their faces on magazine covers. But down in the dark, holding up the entire structure, is the load-bearing wall. You are the load-bearing wall. Now imagine this wall does its job perfectly. It never cracks under pressure. It never complains. It silently holds the weight of 3 other walls that were built poorly. What happens when the penthouse needs to be expanded? Does the architect move the load-bearing wall up to the top floor as a reward for its incredible strength? Of course not. If you move the foundation, the building collapses. You don't promote the pillar. You leave it exactly where it is, and you build more floors on top of it. This is the brutal mathematics of human resources. Management's primary metric for success is not your personal career growth. It is efficient stability. Promoting a highly competent employee creates a massive operational deficit. Think about it. If they promote you, they lose their best producer. They will have to spend time, money, and political capital hiring 2 or 3 new people just to replace your single output. Financially, keeping you stuck at your current level is the most profitable decision the company can make. But how do they keep you there without you rebelling? This is where they weaponize human psychology against you. It is a concept called learned dependency. If you learn that your 110% effort always saves the day, management learns to 110% count on you. When a new project goes completely off the rails, they don't assign it to the team with the most free time. They assign it to you. Why? Because they know your psychological profile. They know you will absorb the stress to protect your identity as the competent one. You cannot stand to see a job done poorly. And they exploit that exact virtue. Listen to me very carefully. When they hand you the work of 3 people, they are not giving you stretch assignments. They are not testing you for leadership. They are outsourcing the anxiety of the entire organization onto your nervous system for free. So, we arrive at the ultimate paradox. If you are the load-bearing wall, if your numbers are flawless and your output is undeniable, How does management justify leaving you in the basement? How do they keep you from demanding the promotion you mathematically deserve? They can't attack your competence, so they have to invent a flaw in your character. Welcome to the Gaslighting of Excellence. Think about the feedback you receive during your annual review. When your technical performance is perfect, management must rely on subjective metrics to deny you the massive bonus or the new title. Suddenly, the conversation shifts to invisible, unmeasurable criteria. They tell you that you need to work on your soft skills. They say you need to be more collaborative. They say your communication is a bit too abrasive. They say you need to be more of a team player. You need to be more collaborative actually means you stop doing other people's jobs for them without complaining. Your communication is abrasive means you started setting professional boundaries that make us uncomfortable. The soft skills critique is not a genuine development plan. It is a psychological weapon. It is designed to induce cognitive dissonance. Your brain is simultaneously being relied upon as the savior of the department and shamed for being fundamentally flawed. They create a moving target you can never hit. If you focus on your work, you aren't social enough. If you try to mentor others, your personal output drops and you are penalized for that. This is deliberate. By convincing you that you lack some mystical leadership quality, they destroy your objective confidence. They manufacture imposter syndrome in their best employees. Because an employee who doubts their own worth will never ask for a 30% raise. An employee who feels guilty for not being a better team player will stay late on a Friday to prove their loyalty. They don't want to fix you. They want to keep you exactly where you are, highly productive and completely insecure. But what happens when the load-bearing wall finally starts to crack? What happens when the high performer realizes their worth, calls the bluff, and threatens to leave? Management panics. They cannot lose their most efficient asset. But remember the mathematics. They also cannot promote you out of the basement. So they execute the final, most sophisticated maneuver in the corporate playbook. They deploy the fake promotion. They will give you a title that sounds incredibly prestigious. You become the senior principal lead, or the strategic individual contributor. They might even give you a modest pay bump to silence your complaints. You update your LinkedIn. Your family congratulates you. You feel validated. But look closely at the fine print of this new reality. You have a new title, but you have absolutely zero strategic authority. You cannot hire. You cannot fire. You cannot change the fundamental processes that are burning you out. They didn't elevate you. They contained you. In the early 20th century, sociologist Max Weber theorized that large bureaucracies are machines designed for one thing: operational homeostasis, maintaining the status quo. In a system obsessed with mediocrity, a hyper-efficient worker is actually a threat. Your efficiency makes the inefficiency of middle management glaringly obvious. They cannot delete the inefficient managers. They need them to maintain the illusion of a hierarchy. The dark solution is isolation. They place you in a bureaucratic black hole, a highly paid silo where your incredible work ethic can be harvested, but your voice cannot disrupt the political order of the executives. You are given the illusion of progress while doing exactly the same heavy lifting you did 3 years ago. The mask finally falls. You were never being groomed to be the future leader. You were just the cleaner. We do not pull these invisible mechanisms into the light to make you cynical. We do it to make you dangerous, because the trap of performance punishment relies on one critical vulnerability: your silence. It only works as long as you believe the exhaustion is your fault. The moment you name the manipulation, you neutralize its power over you. The solution to the high performer's curse is not to do bad work. It is not to sabotage your own intelligence. The solution is to enforce the most fundamental law of capitalism: value exchange. Management has been treating your extra effort as free real estate. It is time to start charging rent. When they hand you the responsibilities of a manager, do not accept them out of a desperate need to play the savior. Stop internalizing the anxiety of the system. Instead, ask with cold professional clarity: what strategic authority and financial compensation accompanies this new scope of work? If their answer is vague, your commitment must be equally vague. Hear this clearly. Setting boundaries is not a failure of character. It is the ultimate sign of professional competence. You are not a martyr holding up a broken building. You are a professional operating on a contract. The company is not your family. Your competence is your leverage. Do not let them turn it into your leash. If this episode finally gave a name to the exhaustion you have been feeling, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe to SUBTEXT Decoded right now, and send this video to the co-worker you know is carrying the entire department on their back. Let's pull the invisible mechanisms into the light together. The true reward for good work is the freedom to define its terms. We will see you in the next episode.